All right, hi everybody, my name is Matt and welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm just going to be giving you a quick tour of Southern Marina. We're in the city of Andea, and this is a project that myself and a bunch of friends have been working on since about 2018. Typically on this project, I work more in a planning role. So I'll typically work on sort of big aspect planning. I will occasionally make builds. However, the vast majority of the builds in this district that I'm going to show you today were not built by me, but I will point out things that were built by me. Okay, so if you do want to explore this area for yourself, you can explore it using the IP in the description. I will also put it on the screen. So the server is play.cubed.community, and to get to Andea, you're just going to type /Andea, and then you can click on the menu. Okay, so we're going to jump into it here. So Southern Marina, this place is obviously a marina, as you could probably figure out by the name. But a lot of these buildings are based on southern France, particularly Marseille, and a little bit of Barcelona here and there. So these buildings, we have another map on the server. So originally when planning out this area, I just copy and pasted a bunch of builds in. But these ones are the replacements for them. So these ones are all finished here. So something you'll notice pretty quick is the color scheme. So we have a lot of blues. You got the blue from the water, and then you have all these oranges and greens. So when you do mix all three of these colors together, it does tend to create a very warm atmosphere. And it's just very nice for tourists when they're walking around. It feels very comforting and very welcoming. So we have this Hammerhead sculpture here made by our pack developer. And it's just like a nice touch for the area and gives kind of a sense of character to the area. So if we kind of go this way here, we have all these nice seating areas where you can look over into the marina here. We do have all of these boats here. So, personal crafts here. And then you start to get into these the ones that are more sailboats. You have these smaller ones here. And yeah, so there's a lot more different types of boats, but we'll have a look at them once we get more up there. Okay, so you might notice that this is not in default. So I'm using the texture pack cubed pack, and for the city of Andea, you do require it. Otherwise, it is going to look very, very weird. But yes, you can see here that we have all these really cool leaves here as well. And we kind of mix in a lot of different blocks and plants and everything with World Edit, of course. Just to get these. And I guess we are missing something there, but I'll fix that afterwards. Okay, so down here we have a nightclub. We'll just have a quick look inside here. And there's lots of other stores here. We are still missing some, but there are a handful here. So this is a hair salon. And so right now I'm using BSL shaders, but if you do use ones that have ray tracing, then this here can become a mirror, specifically if you use SUS PTGI. Okay, so if we come back here, we have our broken door, don't mind that. But we have sort of this back alleyway here, and it is a very, very nice spot. We have, it is very European, of course. It's quite tight when you walk through the street here, obviously not meant for cars at all. But you have all these first floor shops, which makes it very easy to walk in, and it's very, very inviting, right? Then we have these elevation changes. I made this area in here because I just wanted to connect the top area here to the lower portion. We have all these nice little shops and all this super, super amazing detail here made by all of our builders. Okay, so let's explore in here. So this is just a restaurant. And, you have, I'm not quite sure if it's a bar or maybe it's just a prep area up here. And you have your tables here. And then if you want, down here, you have your washrooms. All this nice greenery up here, just so it feels a little bit more enclosed. Right, so if we come over here, you can see that we have a shop here that's not yet completed. But in the windows here, we do have examples of what they might sell. All right, if we wander down this way a little bit, you'll notice that we have lots of trees, and then we have a lot of stairs here. So these are actually fire escapes. So basically what happens is up here, you're going to have a condo, and if there is a fire and whoever's living here can't get out, they just hop out their window, and then they can just walk down these stairs, basically. Even though they don't go all the way down, but there at the end here, there will be a ladder that extends downwards, and then you can just climb down. So very well detailed. And even up on the roof here, typically you're not going to see this from ground level, but there is quite a bit of detail. And yes, if you do visit the server, you are able to fly and you can check it out. You can see all the details for yourself. Okay, so down here we have this Waterfront Markets. Well, almost waterfront. It's almost there. It's not completed just yet. We still have this space back here to fill up. And then we are likely going to do something over here as well. Back there is sort of the bus station. So we're thinking that we might potentially connect that to this area over here because it is very, very touristy. But that is something that we will look at in the future. So again, with Cube Pack here, we have all these designs that obviously you can't get in default. You know, we have all these models here. And a lot of these models here, I think these are actually apples, but if you rename it to oranges and then put it in an item frame, then it should show up like this. I think, don't quote me on that, but it is something similar. Lots of nice little shops here. And I think there's a food truck around here. Here it is. So you can come over here, you can get your food from the food truck. And then there's a couple tables here, and you know, there's some benches over here that you can come down here and you can enjoy your food on the waterfront. Okay, so this here, this was a design that I actually saw on Pinterest. And it's, so basically you have a walkway back here, and then you have sort of these steps downwards that also double sort of a seating here. And it just comes down here, and then right along here is the waterfront. So if you do own your boat, you just come down here and you can hop on. Right, and since you have railings here, it does create a little bit of separation. So when you come in here, it does have a little bit of the feeling of enclosure. So it's between here, so you can't go this way, you can't go this way, even though, I mean, you can walk through these. They are rails, but visually, it is separated. Okay, so in the waterfront here, just a little bit of a design trick here. So you'll notice how there's a lot of small palm trees, and then you kind of get into the bigger ones here too. So with palm trees, or basically any trees in general, if you are putting them near buildings, they give buildings a sense of scale. So if you did not have trees here, it would be a little bit hard to tell how tall these buildings actually are. But with the trees, you know, you can walk right beside it and you see, okay, well, you know, that this tree right here, it's not super tall. So if you come back here and then you look and you say, okay, well, it's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4.5 of the small trees tall. So it does give a little bit of scale to it. Okay, so let's wander this way here. So I built this originally intending for it to be a coffee shop, but it's been about 1.5 years and it's still been empty. So I don't really know what to do with it, but that's okay. We'll decide. I added some tables and chairs here, and then sort of this overhead thing just to protect the people from the sun. But it is using these trapdoors here, so you still do get some sun, but it's not just pure sun. It's not going to beat down on the people that are trying to eat. Okay, so if we come over here, we have more boats. We have this sort of sailboat. We have this helicopter up there too. And then, yeah, here's a bike. Anyway, keep going this way here. And if you fly over here, you'll notice that there are these really, really big boats. So I don't know who made them, but I'm sure if you had a look, you could find a sign somewhere. But we do have these really, really big yachts here. And if you want to load up your yacht with whatever it is, you know, typically these yacht owners are going to have quite a bit of money, and they're going to want to bring their own cars all the way down here or have a chauffeur bring them down. So that's why we added this road here that kind of snakes around the side and then goes up into this parking lot here, which you can drive from there, and then you can just go up here and then up onto the main road right up there. Okay, so we have this mechanism here for getting your smaller boats down into the water, even though this boat is still pretty big, but compared to this one, it's not very big. So we have lots of boats around here. We have this area where you can also just put your smaller boats in the water, even though we are getting more into Northern Marina here. So actually, I'm going to leave all of this area for another episode. So if we come over here, we can see that there's lots of different stuff around here. We have this jet ski and then a bunch of this stuff here. I'm not actually sure what it is. Oh, is this this might be one of the kayaks for rowing actually. Actually, yeah, I think that's what that is. Then you have this other big yacht right here. And then there are more yachts here. But again, those ones are the really giant ones, and I'm going to leave those for another episode. Okay, more yachts here. You have these sort of historical ships over here. And some of them are big enough to fit helicopters on. And people seem to like the same helicopter design. Even though we only have one right now. Well, one small one that can fit on yachts. So, yeah. Okay, so let's jump back here. So again, we're just coming back to the marina. And this is your yacht again, just for context, so we know where we are. So there's that first yacht and then the second one here. Okay, so let's have a look at all of these boats here. So you have all these personal crafts, and then you have these sailboats. Lots of good stuff here. There's a whole bunch of them. But there are a couple that I want to showcase in particular. There are a lot of cool designs here. So this is the first one that I want to show off. So this one is pretty cool. I honestly don't know what the purpose of the boat is. It might be a fishing boat. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with boats. So if somebody knows what the purpose of this boat is, then please leave a comment. But I just kind of like it because it uses all these distinct colors that clearly tells it apart from the rest of them. Okay. So if we come over to this next dock here, you might notice something that is not a boat because we have a float plane here. And this was actually made by our pack developer again. And it's a very creative use of materials. Right, so there's a lot of trapdoors, and then I think these are jungle fence gates. I believe this is all in the nether biome, which in CubePack will, if you are using version 1.14.4 with Optifine, it will change a lot of blocks to red. Right, so it's let's see, can I actually get in this? I can. Oh, perfect. You got your steering wheel. Even though most planes don't have steering wheels, actually all planes do not have steering wheels. I should know because I am a pilot. But yeah, no, it's a very nice plane here. Okay, so let's continue on this way. So we are getting to sort of the ends of the marina here, but then we will jump over to the other side. Okay, so we have all these trees here, and then we didn't want to go too big on the trees since we do have this lighthouse at the end. And if you have big trees, say for example, these palm trees went up to about here, and then you're looking from over there towards this area. Since the trees would have been so tall, then they probably would have been about halfway up the lighthouse here. But we want to exaggerate the actual size of the lighthouse. So that's why we have all of those small palm trees over there. So we have this really cool lighthouse here, super detailed. You can go on the bottom there and you can actually explore. But yeah, look at the detail on this. This is very, very impressive. I did not build this, by the way. So this is a different block. This is a different block. Same thing here. Same thing here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of blocks just to get the top part. But yeah, it's very cool. Okay, so we have this side covered. So I think now let's go all the way over here. So this is sort of the mouth of the harbor or marina. So this here, I'll put a map on the screen right now. So this part here goes up here. And then if we turn this way, this is our second lighthouse, and it is on this side. So that's that part right here. All right, so we have this cool lighthouse. So it does obviously look quite a bit different than the other one. We do have a little bit of lore behind it, although I cannot remember it off the top of my head. But it is in the urban planning document for the City of Andea, if you are curious. Okay, and so we have this big park here. So I believe this was made by my friend Adam. So he sort of went for this wavy look here. So we have this pattern down here that we have been using along the marina for a little while, I believe. I think it's been a few years. So these wave patterns, basically we're just trying to mimic sort of the ocean theme. So we have it here, and then we used these or this line here. So it's almost a sine wave. I don't know if it is exactly one, but it does look pretty similar. So you have one that goes up here and then sort of pulls around there. And then you have a second one that goes down here and kind of crosses it. So if we come down here, we have another sculpture here, again by Tarago, our pack developer. You know, we have a handful of birch trees here. And then this here, so this is not completed, but it is going to be the ferry terminal, right? So you're going to come in here. I'm not sure if we're going to have security or not. We might. I don't know a whole lot about ferry terminals, so I have to do a bit of research. And then you can come out here, and then you can get on your ferry. So there is another island that's way out there, and then there's one way, way, way south. So this is likely the point where you will hop on, because this is sort of a central point within the city. Okay, so we have this 3-masted schooner here, which is built by Lucas. This has been here for quite a few years, I believe. But it's very, very detailed, as you can see. And then you have these blocks going up that represent flags. Alrighty, let's keep going here. So right here we have our Ferris wheel. We used glowstone that goes all the way around here. This is what our glowstone looks like in the pack. So it's just white with a black border. And with Optifine, it gives you the borders around, but then it doesn't make it look like just one block. So that's one of the nice things about Cube Pack. So this here, now that we have all this glowstone that goes all the way around on both sides and then a little bit in the middle, when you do take night screenshots, it looks really, really good. Okay, so then we have this area here. This part is not done. We pulled this around and then we threw, this is an old build. This is an old, I'm not sure what it is. It's not a warehouse, but we do have 2 of them. One of them there, and then one of them is on a 45-degree angle. Back here, we have this mall here that I've been working on for a while. I think this is probably about 1.5 years old. And I really need to do some work over here, because on the edges here, you can see that it's all sort of these jagged 45-degree angles mixed with just right angles here. But then when you come over here, it suddenly just curves there, and I don't want to keep that, so I'm probably going to redo a lot of this. I'm going to try and keep most of the structure just because I like this center area, but I will be redoing some of the edge. So this building and this building, they are both condo buildings. So this building I built, it was probably about 1.5 years to 2 years ago. So it's inspired by a building in downtown Vancouver. So it's not exactly alike, but I guess you can kind of see where I got the inspiration from. Right, so lots of green roofs here. And then the interior is made by one of our staff members. I'm not sure if he did all of them, but he did quite a few of them. Again, this one back here I also built. So this one is just a modification of one of the towers in Northern Marina, which I will show you in another video. But I just modified it so that the top part here, it has this nice little pool area. You know, you can see the Ferris wheel. And then if you have your render distance up high enough, then you can see all the way into the marina there too. So you have this nice pool. And then you have this nice sort of pool bar area. You have a barbecue. This is my barbecue design that I like to use. Right, and then this here, this is just, it's carpet of some sort. I can't remember what type. Right, you have your umbrellas. And then sort of your lounge chairs here. Okay, so let's go up here. So this here, I built originally as an entrance to a mall. So you can see I kind of made some aspects of it. And then these would be stores back in here. But again, I need to rethink a lot of what is going on down here. Okay, so right here, you have some water stuff in here. And then you have this little ship. You have some stores. And then a bunch of little palm trees here. And then plus some of the bigger ones just to give, again, the building some scale. You have your lights here. And then one of our staff members, he made this. And then he also made the other one back there. And actually that one way back there too. But I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so I added some townhouses or row homes right here. So these are also a little bit old. They're a little bit dated. I did build these ones, but they probably are about 2 to 3 years old, I would say. You can see nothing super special about them. This was made before a lot of the models that we have in CubePack, before they were implemented. So if it does look a little bit old, I apologize. Okay, so we have these buildings back here, nicely detailed. Really uses all the blocks in CubePack. Right, and then right in here we have this this sort of amphitheater here. So right now we have it set up for a concert. You have your drum kits, you have your speakers, then you have your piano here too. Right, and then this is actually snow, and you'll see this here. It's all snow, it's just in a different biome with CubePack, so that's why it looks like that. Right, so we have our buoys here with your little lights on top. Right, sort of this slanted roof up here. And then we're kind of back to where we started here. Okay, so now we're going to slowly make our way up here. Up here, again, we have this little boat model. And down here, we have this area here, and I'm going to put an extension in here. And very soon, as in, I don't know, because I put these signs here probably about a year and a half ago. One of the things that's, when you are making a city or you're just working on a district or something, you notice how there's a lot of different elevation changes. So you have this one here, you have this second one up here, and then you have this main road up here. So we do this just to make it a little more complex and interesting. And then again, we make it go down a little bit further down here. But if you do have a lot of elevation changes, and as long as they are logically placed, then it's going to make your city really interesting. Okay, so we're going to come up here, and we're going to check out this area. So lots of interesting facades here. Again, I did not make any of these, but we are using CubePack, and it is very, very detailed. I don't know how they did half this stuff. I can kind of, I can pick out the blocks, but I would never be able to think of this on my own until I practice, I guess. But yeah, again, just look at the detail way up here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different blocks. Actually, maybe 5. It's really hard to tell what that is. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, we'll keep going here. So I'll just kind of glance over these. There are some interiors here. Again, I believe this is an apartment in here. And then, yep, so you have a bedroom up there. Yeah, lots of interesting stuff. It's very, very well detailed. So not every build is going to have furnished interior, but a lot of them will. So stuff like this isn't done yet. And then the upper floors aren't done either. All right, so right here is just an apartment. So you have their kitchen, and you have a dining room. Then you have sort of this main living room here too. But it's a very, very well-detailed area. Okay, so you have all more of this traditional stuff here. And then over here, you kind of get into this contemporary stuff. Oh no, what have you done? Somebody changed the heart. That used to be a heart, I swear. But yeah, so down here, this tunnel goes underneath the water, and it originally went to the airport, but we took the entire airport out because we're redoing it. So now it's just going to go to a different island. Okay, so if we come over here, our pack developer, she made this church. So I think this is a church, a real-life church, actually. I think it's in Melbourne. I could be mistaken. Melbourne, maybe Sydney. I know it's in Australia. But it's very, very well detailed. You have your stained glass. All these tiny, tiny little details. Like, she even added the bell in here, too. It's immensely complex. And projects like this, they do take quite a while to build and even longer to plan. She even has different levels down here. And, ooh, that's interesting. I've actually never been in there before. I don't actually know how to get in here normally, so I'm just going to fly through the window. Wow, this is really cool. I had no idea that this was down here. This is cool. Is there a way out of here, I wonder? That's a door, I believe. Let's see. I guess not. So if you're down here, you're kind of stuck here forever. Oh yeah, we have these cool barrel models too. Okay, so let's get out of here. All right. So, you know, this nice little park and all these cool statues here. And then I guess somebody has a wedding going on here too. So lots and lots of cool stuff around here. Okay, so we'll come in here. So you see how insanely detailed everything is? I don't know if I would have the patience for this. Like, we even have custom maps. We have the fire extinguishers. Lots and lots and lots of good stuff. Right, so if we come up here, this flower here, this is actually well, we haven't named it yet, but it is on the flag of Andea and in all of our urban planning documents. So yeah, when you look up here, you can see almost all the way up here. Oh, I guess there's barriers that won't let me fly any higher. That's okay. But then again, you have all your stained glass here. Very, very, very well detailed. You have your organ. So we have this piano model too. So I guess she just took 2 of them and then combined them together. But wow, look at this. Yeah, I know there's a way to get up into sort of the area with the bell there too. It is a little bit hidden. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it is around here somewhere. I am in awe every time I come in here. These giant chandeliers up there. Some serious awesome work. Okay. All right, so I just want to show you a couple more things, and then I will let you all go. So along this main road, if you go straight, this continues up to Northern Marina and Central. And over here, we have all of these there's a lot of first floor shops, and then there's a handful of offices in the upper floors. So in here, this is just kind of behind those buildings there, right? So you have this nice little square. And on each side, it feels like you are surrounded by buildings. So it gives you the sense of enclosure. And then there's lots of greenery, which makes you feel comfortable. And then you have this sort of farmer's market where people can come, they can set up their stalls, and then they can sell whatever they want. Right? So you have some baked goods here. You have some plants. There's lots of stuff here too. So this one's not done yet. I guess that one's not done yet either. Lots of greenery. That's a key component. You have all your greenery and you have all your plants. I really like this building here too. So I'm a big fan of when you use kind of stone here. And then if you can have the dark gray and the yellow combination, it looks really good. Right? So what they did here is they have glass panes on the outside here and then this inside block here. So those are just your trapdoors. And then you don't need them on the bottom because nobody's going to be looking from top down unless they are flying. But for the sake of realism, if you are walking down here, it looks like the yellow goes in the entire way around, even though you can't see the bottom. Right in here, you have different offices and then lots of restaurants and stuff here too. So nicely detailed, lots and lots of detail. Very, very nice. So this place obviously isn't done. That's not done. There's quite a bit around here that isn't done yet, but we are working on it. All right, last thing I want to show you. I'm just going to fly in here. So this here is the Andean Museum of History, if I remember correctly. So you come in the entrance down here. Or sorry, the Andea City Museum. Okay, so you can come in this basement area. And then you have all this cool art here. So these are rails, which you can only do in cube pack. So I'm not going to go through the entire thing in this video. It is a very, very big build, and there's a lot of stuff to explore. If you do want to check it out for yourself, again, you can use the IP in the description and join Cubed. Right, so I'm just going to fly around here. You have this nice statue here. Then I'm really a big fan of the architecture of this building, especially with all this glass up here. And then when you have shaders, it just looks really, really good. Right, so you have how many levels? 1, 2, 3 plus a basement. You have totem poles, lots of different stuff. So this one here, you might have noticed from a few minutes ago when we were looking at one of the lighthouses. This is actually, well, I guess this is the original Lighthouse Beacon, and then we replaced it with a different one. Right, and then we come over here, and we have an indigenous canoe, and then all these cool tree decorations here too. So there is this wing, and then I believe there is a second one. So we have this area here, again with your plane, then you have a boat, and you have a bigger boat. Lots of stuff back here. There's so much stuff that I want to explore, but I'll leave that up to you. All right, so over here we have this this nice big park, and then in here we have some botanical gardens. Again, back there is not completely finished yet. So lots of glass in here, very well done. You know, it's especially when you have these beams of light coming in when you have shaders, it makes it very, very immersive, right? Anyway, my name is Matt, and thanks for watching. If you like this video and you want to see a tour of Northern Marina or Central, then just feel free to leave a like. It just helps the channel growth as well. And yeah, it just lets me know that you want to see more of this content. So anyway, my name is Matt, and I'll see you next time.